The sky was clear that night. Stars twinkled brightly over Earth's cities and towns. People went about their usual business, unaware that everything was about to change. In a small observatory in New Mexico, Dr. Sarah Lee yawned as she looked at her computer screen. It was another quiet night of watching the stars. Suddenly, her equipment started beeping loudly. Sarah sat up straight, her tiredness forgotten. "What's this?" she muttered, leaning closer to the screen. Strange signals were coming from space. They were like nothing she had ever seen before. Sarah's hand shook as she picked up her phone. She called her boss, Dr. John Miller, the head of the observatory. "John, you need to see this," she said when he answered. I think we've received a message from space." Within an hour, the small observatory was buzzing with activity. Scientists from all over the country were calling in. The news spread quickly. Earth had received a message from the stars. As the sun rose, the story hit the headlines. People around the world woke up to exciting news. Alien message received, the newspapers proclaimed. On TV, reporters talked about nothing else. In Washington, D.C., the president called an emergency meeting. The world's top scientists and leaders gathered to discuss the message. They all asked the same questions. What did it say? Where did it come from? Was it really from aliens? Dr. Emily Chung, a famous code breaker, was brought in to study the message. She worked day and night with her team, trying to understand the strange symbols and patterns. After a week of hard work, Dr. Chang made a breakthrough. She burst into the meeting room where world leaders were waiting. "We've done it," she announced, her eyes bright with excitement. "We've decoded the message." The room fell silent as Dr. Chang explained. The message was indeed from an alien civilization, but it wasn't a greeting or a threat. It was a call for help. "They're stranded," Dr. Chang said. "Their fleet of ships is stuck in space, unable to move. And they're asking us, humans, for help." The news shocked everyone. Humans had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew they weren't. But more than that, an advanced alien race was asking them for help. Some people were excited. Others were scared. Debates raged on TV and the internet. Should Earth answer the call? Was it safe? What if it was a trick? Scientists studied the message more. They found that the alien fleet was far away, near a distant star. The aliens had sent messages to many planets, hoping someone would answer. Earth was the first to respond. The president went on TV to address the world. "This is a historic moment for humanity," she said. "We have a chance to help another civilization, to show the best of what humans can do." She announced that Earth would answer the call. The best scientists, engineers, and astronauts from around the world would be chosen for the mission. As the news spread, a sense of purpose filled the air. People from different countries and cultures came together. They all wanted to help with this great task. In schools, children learned about space and aliens. In labs, scientists worked on new technologies for the mission. Everywhere, people talked about the adventure that lay ahead. It wasn't going to be easy. The journey would be long and dangerous. No one knew exactly what they would find, but humans were ready for the challenge. As preparations began, a feeling of hope spread around the world. This was humanity's chance to prove itself, to show that even a young civilization from a small blue planet could make a difference in the vast universe. The sky didn't look the same anymore. When people looked up at the stars, they saw more than just lights. They saw new possibilities, new friends to meet, and a whole universe waiting to be explored. The message from space had changed everything. Humanity was about to take its first big step into the galactic community, and it all started on that quiet night in a small observatory, with a beep that would echo through history. The world buzzed with excitement as preparations for the space mission began. In every country, people watched the news eagerly for updates. This was humanity's big moment, and everyone wanted to be part of it. At NASA headquarters in Houston, a team of experts gathered. They had a huge task ahead: to build a spaceship that could travel further than any human had gone before. Dr. Maria Rodriguez, the lead engineer, stood in front of a large blueprint. "We need to create something extraordinary," she told her team. "This ship must be able to travel vast distances and carry enough supplies for a long journey." The team worked day and night. They designed new engines, stronger than anything used before. They created special rooms where the crew could sleep for years without aging. Every part of the ship was carefully planned. Meanwhile, in a secret facility in Russia, astronauts from around the world trained hard. They learned how to survive in space for long periods. They studied alien languages and practiced using advanced technology. Among them was Jack Chen, a young pilot from China. He had dreamed of space travel since he was a child. Now he pushed himself to the limit, determined to be chosen for the mission. "This is tougher than I imagined," Jack said to his roommate, Aisha from Nigeria, after a long day of training. "But I wouldn't give it up for anything." Aisha nodded in agreement. "We're making history here," she replied. "Every hard day is worth it." As the spaceship took shape and the crew trained, other preparations were underway. Farmers grew special crops that could be taken on the long journey. Scientists developed new medicines to keep the astronauts healthy in space. In schools across the world, children learned about the mission. They sent drawings and letters to the astronauts, wishing them luck. Some schools even held contests, allowing students to suggest names for the new spaceship. After months of suggestions and voting, the ship was named Hope. It seemed fitting for a mission that carried the dreams of all humanity. As the launch date grew closer, excitement reached fever pitch. People camped out near the launch site, hoping to see the historic moment. Hotels for miles around were fully booked. The night before the launch, the chosen crew was announced. Jack and Aisha had made it, along with 10 others from different countries. They represented the best of humanity, brave, smart, and ready for anything. Launch day arrived. The world held its breath as the crew boarded Hope. Millions watched on TV and online as the final countdown began. 10, 9, 8. The voice echoed around the world. Inside the ship, Jack gripped his seat tightly. This was the moment he had been waiting for all his life. 3, 2, 1. With a roar that shook the earth, Hope lifted off. Flames burst from its engines as it rose into the sky, carrying humanity's representatives towards the stars. People cheered in streets around the world. In New York, crowds in Times Square hugged each other. In a small village in Africa, people danced with joy. This was a victory for all of Earth. As Hope left Earth's atmosphere, Captain Sarah Lee's voice crackled over the radio. "This is Hope, reporting successful launch. We're on our way to make new friends." Back on Earth, work didn't stop. Scientists continued to study the alien message, learning more about the stranded fleet. Engineers worked on new technologies that might help with the rescue. In the United Nations, countries that had once been enemies now worked together. They all wanted the mission to succeed. It was as if the whole world had found a common goal. As days passed and Hope traveled further into space, people on Earth settled into a new normal. But things had changed. Children played games about saving aliens. Adults looked at the night sky differently, wondering what was out there. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger universe. No one knew what challenges lay ahead, but one thing was certain: Earth was ready to face them together. As the spaceship Hope journeyed deeper into the cosmos, Earth watched and waited. The crew of 12 brave astronauts settled into their new home among the stars. Captain Sarah Lee floated through the ship's main control room. She looked out the large window at the unfamiliar stars. "Status report," she called out to her team. Jack Chen, seated at the navigation console, replied, "All systems normal, Captain. We're on course and making good speed." Aisha, the ship's doctor, added, "Crew health is excellent. No issues to report." Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The crew kept busy with their duties, but they also found time for fun. They played chess in zero gravity and held movie nights in the ship's common area. One day, as the crew ate lunch together, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Red lights flashed, and everyone rushed to their stations. "What's happening?" Captain Lee demanded, strapping herself into the command chair. Alina, the Russian engineer, called out, "Captain, we're approaching an asteroid field. It's not on our charts." The crew watched in horror as a sea of rocks appeared before them. Some were as small as pebbles, others as big as mountains. All of them were deadly to the ship. "Evasive maneuvers," Captain Lee ordered. Jack's hands flew over the controls, guiding the ship through the dangerous field. For hours, Hope darted and weaved between the asteroids. The crew worked together, calling out warnings and adjusting the ship's course. It was a dance of skill and luck, with their lives on the line. Finally, after what seemed like forever, they emerged on the other side. The crew cheered, hugging each other in relief. "Great job, everyone," Captain Lee said, wiping sweat from her brow. "Especially you, Jack. That was some incredible flying." Jack grinned, still shaking with adrenaline. "Thanks, Captain. I just hope we don't have to do that again anytime soon." As they continued their journey, the crew faced other challenges. They encountered strange space phenomena that their scientists back on Earth had only theorized about. One day they passed through a cloud of glowing particles. The ship's systems went haywire, and for a terrifying hour, they lost all power. It was Aisha who saved the day, realizing that the particles responded to sound waves. The crew sang together, their voices somehow reactivating the ship's systems. Another time, they encountered a massive space creature, bigger than anything they had ever imagined. It looked like a whale, but it swam through the vacuum of space as if it were water. The creature seemed curious about the ship, following them for days before disappearing into the depths of space. These experiences changed the crew. They grew closer, becoming more than just colleagues. They were a family now, united by their incredible journey. Back on Earth, people followed the mission's progress eagerly. Schools held special classes about space travel. Scientists studied the data sent back by Hope, learning new things about the universe every day. As Hope neared its destination, excitement grew both on the ship and back home. They were about to make history, to be the first humans to meet an alien civilization. One quiet evening, as the crew gathered for dinner, Jack noticed something on his screen. "Captain," he called out, his voice trembling with excitement. "I think I see something." Everyone rushed to the windows. In the distance, they could see tiny points of light, but these weren't stars. They were moving in formation. Captain Lee's voice was filled with awe as she made the announcement. "Crew of Hope, people of Earth, we have visual contact with the alien fleet." A hush fell over the ship. After months of travel, countless dangers, and moments of doubt, they had finally arrived. Humanity's greatest adventure was about to begin. As Hope moved closer to the alien ships, the crew prepared for first contact. They had trained for this moment, but nothing could truly prepare them for what was to come. Captain Lee took a deep breath and opened a communication channel. "This is Captain Sarah Lee of the Earth ship Hope. We come in peace and offer our assistance." The crew waited, hearts pounding. Then, after a moment that seemed to last forever, a reply came. The adventure was only just beginning. The crew of Hope held their breath as they waited for a response. The alien fleet loomed before them, a collection of massive ships unlike anything they had ever seen. Suddenly, the communication screen lit up. Strange symbols flashed across it, quickly changing into English words. A mechanical voice spoke. "Earth Vessel Hope, we welcome you. Your journey honors us." Captain Sarah Lee's hands shook slightly as she replied, "We're glad to have arrived. We're here to help." "Prepare for docking," the alien voice instructed. "We will guide you." As Hope moved closer to the largest alien ship, the crew scrambled to their positions. Jack Chen carefully maneuvered the ship, following the alien guidance system. With a soft thud and a hiss of air, Hope connected to the alien vessel. Captain Lee turned to her crew. "This is it, everyone. Remember your training. We're making history today." The airlock opened slowly. The crew, wearing their spacesuits just in case, waited nervously. As the door fully opened, they got their first look at the aliens. The beings before them were tall and slender, with skin that seemed to shimmer like the surface of a soap bubble. They had 4 arms and large, dark eyes that blinked sideways. One alien stepped forward. "I am Zar Tol, leader of this fleet. Welcome aboard the Starweaver." Captain Lee stepped forward as well. "I'm Captain Sarah Lee. We're honored to meet you." As the 2 leaders shook hands, Zar Tol using 2 of his 4 hands, both crews watched in amazement. Humans and aliens meeting for the first time. The aliens led the humans into a large room filled with strange plants and softly glowing lights. Zar Tol explained their situation. "Our fleet's main drive system failed during a long journey," he said. "We've been stranded here for what you would call 50 Earth years." Aisha, the doctor, couldn't help but ask, 50 years? But how have you survived so long?" Zar Tol's skin rippled in what seemed to be a smile. "We are a long-lived species, Doctor, but our resources are running low. That's why we sent out the distress call." Alina, the engineer, was already examining some alien technology. "Your systems are amazing," she said, "but I think I see the problem. It's not so different from issues we've had on Earth." Over the next few days, the human crew worked closely with the aliens. They shared knowledge, compared technologies, and worked on fixing the alien fleet's drive system. Jack found himself teaching some young aliens about Earth's history. They were fascinated by stories of oceans and mountains, things they had never seen on their home world. Aisha worked with alien doctors, exchanging medical knowledge. She was amazed to learn that the aliens could regrow lost limbs, something she hoped could help people back on Earth. But it wasn't all work. The 2 species found time to learn about each other's cultures. The aliens taught the humans a game that was like a 3-dimensional version of chess. The humans introduced the aliens to music, which the aliens felt rather than heard. One evening, as they shared a meal of both Earth and alien foods, Zar Tol made an announcement. "We have decided to offer Earth a gift," he said. "Once our fleet is repaired, we would like to share some of our technology with your people." The human crew was stunned. This could change everything back home. Captain Lee spoke carefully. "That's very generous, Zar Tol. But may I ask why?" Zar Tol's skin rippled again in that strange smile. "Because you came," he said simply. "Out of all the civilizations that heard our call, you were the ones brave enough and kind enough to answer. You've shown us the best of what intelligent life can be." As the humans and aliens continued to work together, a deep friendship began to form between the 2 species. They were no longer just 2 civilizations meeting by chance. They were becoming allies, maybe even family. Back on Earth, the news of the successful first contact was met with joy and excitement. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, and the future looked brighter than ever before. As days turned into weeks, the crew of Hope worked tirelessly alongside their new alien friends. The challenge they faced was immense, but their determination was even greater. Alina, the Russian engineer, spent long hours in the alien engine room. She marveled at the advanced technology, but also recognized familiar problems. "It's like a giant puzzle," she told Captain Lee one day. "Different pieces, but the same basic principles." The main issue was the alien fleet's quantum drive. It was far more advanced than anything humans had created, but it had been damaged by an encounter with a strange spatial anomaly. Jack and Aisha joined Alina in her work. They brought fresh perspectives that complemented the aliens' deep knowledge of their own systems. Together, they made progress, but it was slow. One day, as they were all feeling frustrated, Jack had an idea. "What if we combine our Earth technology with theirs?" he suggested. "Maybe a mix of old and new could solve the problem." The aliens were hesitant at first. Their technology was far more advanced. But as Zartol reminded them, it was Earth's unique approach that brought them here to help us. Perhaps their unique approach is what we need now. With renewed energy, the combined team set to work. They took parts from Hope and integrated them into the alien systems. It was a risky move, but they were running out of options. As they worked, they faced numerous setbacks. Once, a power surge nearly destroyed a week's worth of work. Another time, a miscalculation caused a small explosion that injured 2 alien engineers. But through it all, the humans and aliens grew closer. They shared stories of their homes, their families, their hopes and dreams. Despite their physical differences, they found they had much in common. One night, as they all relaxed after a long day's work, an alien named Shinva taught the humans a beautiful song. Its melody was unlike anything they had ever heard, with notes that seemed to shimmer in the air. As Jack tried to sing along, his off-key attempts made everyone laugh. But the laughter brought them even closer together. They were no longer 2 separate crews, but one united team. Weeks passed, and finally, they were ready for a test. Everyone gathered in the control room, tension thick in the air. Alina and her alien counterpart, Tol Ren, stood at the main console. "All systems are go," Alina reported. "Ready when you are, Captain." Captain Lee took a deep breath. "Initiate the drive," she ordered. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a low hum that grew steadily louder, the quantum drive came to life. The ship shuddered slightly, and then smoothed out. On the view screen, they could see the stars beginning to move, slowly at first, then faster and faster. Cheers erupted from both humans and aliens. They had done it. The fleet could move again. But their celebration was short-lived. As the ships accelerated, alarms began to blare. Red lights flashed across the control panels. "The drive is overloading," Tol Ren shouted. "If we don't shut it down, it could tear the ship apart." Elena's fingers flew over the controls. "The shutdown sequence isn't working," she called out. "The system's not responding." In that moment of crisis, it was Aisha who found the solution. "The song," she cried out. "Remember how the strange particles responded to our singing? What if this technology responds to sound too?" Without waiting for a response, she began to sing the alien song Shinva had taught them. After a moment of surprise, the others joined in, human and alien voices blending together in an otherworldly harmony. To everyone's amazement, the alarms began to quiet. The shuddering of the ship eased. Slowly, steadily, the drive powered down to safe levels. As the last notes of the song faded away, silence fell over the control room. Then Zartol spoke, his voice filled with awe. "In all our years of space travel, we never imagined that music could be the key to controlling our most advanced technology. You humans truly are remarkable." Captain Lee smiled, looking around at her crew and their alien friends. "We did this together," she said. "And together, we can face whatever challenges lie ahead." As the fleet prepared for its journey home, both humans and aliens knew that this was just the beginning of a beautiful friendship between their civilizations. The universe had become a little bit smaller, and a whole lot more interesting. With the quantum drive repaired and stabilized, a new sense of excitement filled both the alien fleet and the Earth ship Hope. The journey home could finally begin, but there was still much work to be done. Captain Sarah Lee stood on the bridge of the Starweaver, the alien flagship, looking out at the vast expanse of space. Zartol floated beside her, his shimmering skin reflecting the starlight. "We owe you and your crew a great debt, Captain," Zartol said. "But I fear our journey is not yet over." Sarah nodded. "The drive works, but we need to make sure it can handle long-distance travel. And we still don't know if there will be any side effects." Over the next few days, the combined human-alien crew ran numerous tests. They started with short jumps, moving the fleet small distances to check the drive's stability. Each successful jump was met with cheers from both species. Jack Chen worked closely with the alien navigators, plotting a course that would take them to the aliens' home world and then to Earth. "It's like planning the greatest road trip ever," he joked to Aisha, "except the roads are made of stars." As they prepared for their first long-distance jump, an unexpected problem arose. The alien food synthesizers began to malfunction, producing only a bland, gray paste. Aisha, always quick to help, suggested using some of Hope's food supplies. "We packed for a long journey," she said. "We have more than enough to share." And so, humans and aliens sat down to a meal of Earth food. The aliens were fascinated by the variety of flavors and textures. They particularly loved spicy foods, their skin changing colors as they experienced new tastes. "This is amazing," exclaimed Sinva, his skin flashing bright orange as he bit into a piece of curry chicken. "We must learn how to make this." The shared meal brought the two species even closer together. They swapped recipes and cooking techniques, each learning from the other's culinary traditions. As they ate and talked, Alina had an idea. "What if we combine our food technology with yours?" she suggested. "Maybe we can create a synthesizer that produces a wider variety of foods." The aliens were excited by the idea. Together with the human crew, they began working on a new, improved food synthesizer. It was a perfect example of how the two species could learn from each other and create something better together. Finally, the day came for the first long-distance jump. Everyone was nervous but excited. If this worked, they would be one step closer to home. Captain Lee stood at the center of the bridge, surrounded by her crew and their alien friends. "All systems check out," Alina reported. "We're ready to go. Initiating quantum jump in 3, 2, 1. Jack counted down. There was a moment of disorientation as the stars around them blurred. Then suddenly, they were somewhere else entirely. A new star system appeared on their view screens. Cheers erupted throughout the ship. The jump had been successful. But their celebration was cut short when alarms began to blare. "Captain," Aisha called out, "we have multiple crew members reporting dizziness and nausea." It seemed the quantum jump had some unexpected side effects on both human and alien physiologies. Aisha and the alien medical team worked tirelessly to treat the symptoms and understand the cause. After hours of research and experiments, they found a solution. By adjusting the ship's artificial gravity and adding a specific frequency of sound during the jump, they could minimize the negative effects. This discovery led to more improvements. The human and alien scientists worked together to refine the quantum drive, making it more efficient and comfortable for travel. As they prepared for the final leg of their journey, Captain Lee addressed the combined crew. "We've faced challenges we never could have imagined," she said. "But together, we've overcome them all. We've proven that our differences make us stronger, not weaker." Zartol nodded in agreement. "This journey has taught us more than just how to fix a drive," he said. "It has taught us the value of friendship, of working together despite our differences." As the fleet prepared for the jump that would take them to Earth, there was a sense of both excitement and sadness. The humans were eager to return home, to share all they had learned, but they had also formed deep bonds with their alien friends. "This isn't an end," Captain Lee reassured everyone. "It's a beginning of a new era of cooperation between our peoples." With a final check of all systems, the fleet engaged its quantum drive. In a blur of starlight, they began the last part of their incredible journey, carrying with them the promise of a brighter future for both civilizations. The combined fleet of human and alien ships emerged from their final quantum jump just beyond Earth's moon. The blue and green planet hung in space before them, a beautiful sight that brought tears to the eyes of the Hope's crew. "Home," whispered Jack, his voice filled with emotion. "We actually made it." Captain Sarah Lee opened a channel to Earth. "This is Captain Lee of the Hope. Mission accomplished. We've returned, and we've brought friends." The response was immediate. Cheers could be heard over the communication system, as the news spread rapidly across the planet. The long-awaited return of the brave crew, along with the first contact with an alien civilization, was a moment that would be forever etched in human history. As the fleet approached Earth, a welcome committee was hastily assembled. Representatives from every nation gathered to greet the returning heroes and their alien allies. The United Nations quickly prepared for the most important meeting in its history. The landing site was a flurry of activity. Scientists, politicians, and curious onlookers all gathered to witness the historic moment. As the Hope touched down, followed by several alien shuttles, the crowd fell silent in anticipation. The airlock opened, and Captain Lee stepped out, followed by her crew and their alien friends. The silence broke into thunderous applause and cheers. Zartul, representing the alien delegation, stepped forward. His shimmering skin reflected the sunlight, causing gasps of amazement from the crowd. "People of Earth," he said, his words translated for all to hear, "we come in peace and friendship. Your brave explorers have saved us, and in doing so, have opened the door to a new era of cooperation between our peoples." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. The crew of Hope shared their experiences, while the aliens began the process of cultural exchange. Scientists from around the world eagerly studied the alien technology, especially the quantum drive that had brought them across the vast distances of space. But it wasn't just about technology. The aliens shared their art, their music, and their philosophy. Humans, in turn, introduced the aliens to the rich diversity of Earth's cultures. The aliens were particularly fascinated by Earth's oceans and the variety of life they contained, so different from their own world. Elena and her team worked with alien engineers to adapt their technology for Earth's use. "Imagine," she said during a press conference, "clean energy for everyone, advanced medical treatments, and the ability to explore the far reaches of our galaxy." Aisha found herself at the forefront of a new field of medicine, combining human and alien knowledge to tackle diseases that had long plagued humanity. "We're on the verge of medical breakthroughs that were once thought impossible," she announced to a group of eager medical students. Jack, with his experience in navigation, began training a new generation of space pilots. "The stars are no longer out of reach," he told his students. "We have the whole universe to explore now." As the days passed, the impact of the mission became clear. Nations that had once been enemies now worked together, united by the common goal of advancing humanity's place in the galaxy. Schools around the world updated their curriculums to include alien languages and cultures. But perhaps the most profound change was in how humanity saw itself. No longer were they alone in the universe. They were part of a larger cosmic community, with much to learn and much to offer. 1 year after the return of Hope, a new ship was unveiled. Larger and more advanced than any before, it was a true collaboration between human and alien technology. Its name, chosen by popular vote, was Unity. As Captain Sarah Lee prepared to lead this new mission of exploration, she reflected on how far they had come. "A year ago, we set out to save a stranded alien fleet," she said in her departure speech. "We never imagined that in doing so, we would forge a friendship that would change the course of both our civilizations." The crew of Unity, a mix of humans and aliens, boarded the ship. As they prepared for takeoff, messages of good wishes poured in from around the world and beyond. With a flash of its quantum drive, Unity disappeared into the stars, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of two civilizations. The adventure that had begun with a distant cry for help had become the first step on humanity's greatest journey. As Unity vanished from view, Zartul turned to the human leaders beside him. "This," he said, his skin shimmering with emotion, "is only the beginning." And across the Earth, people looked up at the night sky with new wonder, knowing that they were no longer alone, and that the greatest adventures still lay ahead.